Hello, everyone. Welcome to the International Honors Program webinar.
Yeah, hello, my name is Susie Jones. I'm glad that you guys are with us today. I am the Special Programs Coordinator for Stanford Summer Session. I've been with Summer Session for about 1.5 years, and I'm really looking forward to summer 2018. I hope you are too. And Patricia, I'll let Patricia introduce herself also. She helps run the International Honors Program.
Yes, I'm Patricia Hall, and like Susie said, I coordinate the International Honors Program, which is why we're all here today. So I'm really excited that you all came out. Good morning. I know a lot of you woke up early on a Friday just for this webinar, so we really appreciate you coming out today. So without further ado, let's begin. All right, so first and foremost, I want to go over a little bit about what we're going to talk about today. First, we'll talk about the program in general, then we'll move on to academics. Following that, student life and enrichment programs. That's where Susie comes in. She'll explain a little bit about our intensive programs as well as SVIA, the Silicon Valley Innovation Academy. And then finally, we'll take you step by step through the application. But before we do all that, we're going to talk a little bit about how to navigate Zoom, which is the program you're using right now.
Absolutely. So hopefully everybody can hear us right now. If you see our mouth moving but you can't hear us, please make sure you let us know as soon as possible so that we don't miss out on any more of the webinar today. But you might see down at the bottom of your screen a bar that kind of looks like the one here in the presentation that says chat, raise hand, and Q&A. So for today, we're going to be using the Q&A icon, and that's where you can address any questions that you have. There's also the raise your hand function. We will not be using raise your hand. Yeah, not today. It's just easier if we all just use Q&A. If you would like to use chat, that is fine. The way that you'll use chat is to talk amongst yourselves. If you would like to chat with other people in the webinar, you can use the chat function. But for the purposes of this presentation and communicating with us, please use the Q&A. So throughout the presentation, you might come across questions that you have and whatnot. And if you'd like if you'd like to type those out and send them our way during the presentation, totally fine. We may or may not address it at that moment, but we will eventually get to it. If you'd like to leave all of your questions for the end, there'll be plenty of time at the end of the presentation to get your questions addressed, and we can do that at that time. If you have a question that is related to your specific circumstance that you would like to address, it's probably easiest if you just email Patricia. Yes. She would gladly address any of those specific questions.
And my email's right there on the slide. It's patriciagHall@stanford.edu. Thanks, Susie.
All right, absolutely.
Okay, so here we go. We are getting started now. We're going to go ahead and turn the video off so we can focus on the slides. As you know, you may have visited our website before. Stanford Summer Session is an 8-week program that runs during Stanford's summer quarter, which is the 4th quarter of the academic year. This year's dates are Saturday, June 23rd to Sunday, August 19th, 2018. And most students like to come to our program because it's a chance to come to Stanford as a visiting student. You get to take the same courses as Stanford undergrads and graduate students, and you also get to get Stanford credit, which is very, very well sought after, I'd have to say. I think it's one of the greatest things about our program is some summer programs, you know, you just get to go to their campus and take their classes, but you don't actually get a transcript in the end. That's not the case with Summer Session. You will receive a Stanford transcript, given that you pass all your courses, of course.
Yeah, absolutely. And you're taking classes right alongside other Stanford matriculated students as well. And that's another exciting part about attending our summer session right alongside our Stanford students that are here during the normal academic year.
So great. So that is about Stanford Summer Session. Now within Stanford Summer Session, we have a special community of folks just like yourselves who are vetted through their home university. And that community is the International Honors Program. So what makes the International Honors Program so special? You are hand selected by your home university. That means you're the best, you're the brightest, and you've probably been through some sort of an application process. It just depends on what school you go to and what the rules are there. So first and foremost, you'll have to make sure you get selected by your home university. And then while you're at Stanford, we have some expectations for you, again, as you are our best and our brightest students. We expect you to enroll in 8 units, 7 of which must be academic units. From there, you must maintain a B average or higher in all of your courses. And one of the perks I'd just like to highlight right now is that all the International Honors Program students live in the same residence. And this year it's Branner Hall. All right, so on to academics. Like I said before, you will be studying at Stanford, taking Stanford courses. We offer some of the best courses in the entire world. And when you finish them, you will have a Stanford transcript. And before we dive right into academics, I'd like to share with you this quote that I found that we got from an IHP student. So every year we interview students, and this student said, "The professors were all extremely enthusiastic, passionate, and willing to help, which really motivated me to do well at Stanford. They provided me with a great deal of help in determining my future career direction. Thank you, Stanford, for having such amazing teachers." And what I really like about this quote is that it shows how dedicated our teachers are in their students' growth. All right, so now on to academics. We offer some of the most sought after courses in all departments. We've got humanities and sciences, earth sciences and engineering. We have 170 courses in 40 departments. On the right-hand side, you'll see a list of courses. I just selected these because I think that they show the wide variety of courses that we offer in a variety of disciplines. You can go on our website to see more. I just want to point out, though, that the courses on our website right now are from last year. So you can use that as a reference, as a planning tool. Just keep an eye on the website. We'll be updating it regularly with courses. If you're really interested in getting a little bit more detail about the courses, you can check out this resource I have on this slide. It's called Explore Courses, and you can get a little bit more detail there. I just want to point out, though, that only the courses on our website are offered to visiting students. So if you see something in Explore Courses and it's not on our website, it's not available to you. But don't worry about that, because we have, like I said, 170 other courses to choose from. Also, I know some of you might be interested in transferring your credits once you're finished. And in that case, you will probably need a syllabus. So I've included a link here to a database to a number of syllabuses. So you're able to locate that syllabus and maybe pass it on to your school for transfer credit. Student life. So I know you are all very, very serious students. You probably get great grades, but I think we can all agree that part of your education is getting out into the world and connecting with your classmates. So we're going to touch a little bit on the student life atmosphere and the environment. Like I said, you will be living in Branner Hall among other IHP students. And what that means is you'll be sharing a community of students from all over the world. And again, I'd like to share this quote with you because I think it's really sweet. This student said that we live in the same dorm and share our stories almost every day, forming a rather nice and close community. And what the student is talking about is, after a long day of classes, she got to come back to Branner Hall where she could meet up with friends that she's made from all over the world, and they can sit down, talk about their culture and share their experience, maybe have a study session together, or maybe just have a couple snacks and laugh a little bit. So it's a nice way to meet new friends. Aside from the friends that you're going to make, we also have a really nice staff that's there to offer assistance to you. The summer residential staff is hand-selected because they have an interest in either studying abroad or interest in different cultures. And that staff comes together and they create programming for you all. So they might have an idea for a themed event, study sessions, or other organized excursions. Like I know last year, some of the students got together and they made different food items from different cultures, and then they all brought their food together and shared it. And I know a group of students last year also organized a trip to Yosemite, all on their own. So the possibilities are endless within the residence of Branner Hall. Outside of the residence, we also offer a variety of weekend excursions. These are available to all summer session students, so you'll be able to meet other Stanford students, maybe some other visiting students. We offer trips to places like Alcatraz, which is a prison, an old prison located in San Francisco. It's very famous. We also, my favorite is the San Francisco Giants game. I don't know about you. I love baseball, and I know baseball is a huge part of American culture, so why not get out there and experience it firsthand? But anyway, there's a variety of events that we offer just for you guys.
Yeah, the weekend excursions are really, really exciting.
Super fun.
Because it's a chance for students to get to know the area and get to know California better. And so I highly encourage you that if you attend summer session and the International Honors Program, that you take advantage of these weekend excursions. These are kind of once in a lifetime things to be able to go do. So these are some of the most exciting things that we have going on.
And we do offer the signups each week. So even if you don't get to go on the trip through Stanford, I still recommend that you get out and explore as much as possible.
Absolutely.
So we've talked already about academics and student life. Now I'd like to draw our attention a little bit to how to enrich your academic experience, which is why we have a selection of enrichment programs. And this part Susie's going to take over because this is her area of expertise.
Yes, absolutely. And I just also first want to acknowledge we do have a few questions that students have asked. They're great questions, and we'll get to those here shortly. But I will talk about enrichment programs, which are really fun additions to your time through the International Honors Program. So the first that I'll discuss is the Intensive Studies program. And this is a certificate program. So if you meet all the requirements of the program, then you will earn a certificate at the end of summer that we will mail to you. But the way that an intensive study works is that you take a select number of courses, and from a specific list, you take those courses for a letter grade, and as long as you earn a B or higher in those courses and you meet all the other requirements that are set out for that certificate of completion, then you will earn that certificate at the end of summer. So it's a really exciting program that we have because it fits in well with what a lot of students like to do. So a lot of students like to come to summer session and group their courses. So maybe they're very interested in human rights, and so that student would like to take 2 courses in human rights. And so that student would be a great candidate for the human rights intensive, for example. But we have intensive studies in all sorts of different topics. So human rights is one of them, like I mentioned. Technology and innovation is another. We have a great environmental and water studies intensive as well. So there's a wide variety of intensives. Along with those intensive studies also comes different events to get involved in as a requirement for the intensive study. And those are just to support and supplement what you're learning in the classroom. So make sure that if you're interested in intensive, that you go to the summer session website and look up what the requirements are for the different intensive studies. You will sign up for an intensive study after you are admitted. Don't worry, you won't be able to miss how to register. We make you register. Tell us yes or no if you want to do an intensive study. So it's okay if you forget about it now. We will prompt you to think about intensive studies a little bit later on. The next enrichment program I'll chat about right here is the Silicon Valley Innovation Academy. And in that picture there, it looks like some students are having a lot of fun. And that's because the program is a lot of fun. It's a 7-week program. So it's 7 weeks out of the 8 that you are at summer session. And you'll spend around 5 to 7 hours a week doing SVIA and participating in the different events in Silicon Valley Innovation Academy. So it is a time commitment outside of your classes. It's a not-for-credit program, though, so you won't have anything, any credits earned on your transcript, and it does require an extra fee to be a part of the program. This program is really great for anybody who wants to be an entrepreneur or a great innovator, or if you just have an idea of a way that you want to solve a problem that society is facing, this program is for you. You don't have to be an engineer. You don't have to be in technology. You don't have to be in computer science. You can be studying anything. As long as you are interested in solving a problem, then this could be a great program for you. One thing about this program to really keep in mind is that if you're interested in applying for it, make sure you apply when you're completing your summer session application. You cannot apply for SVIA in any other way except when you are applying for summer session. So in that application, it will prompt you to ask you if you're interested in applying to SVIA. And if you are at all interested, make sure you click yes, and then it will take you to the SVIA application. So just keep that in mind. But our website, again, has a lot more information about the way that this program works. So if you have more specific questions about SVIA, the website might answer some of those questions. Also, I will say our website is brand new today.
Yes.
So that's really exciting. So keep checking our website for updates throughout this week, because we're continuing to make sure that it looks the best that it can be for you guys.
Okay, so we've covered a wide range of topics. Thank you all for staying with us so far. Finally, we're here at the application. And first and foremost, before you are even applying to your through your home university, we want to make sure you meet the minimum eligibility, which is required from Stanford summer session. So that's to be at least 18 years of age, have graduated high school, secondary school, or the equivalent, have successfully completed at least one term of college, and then from there you will go ahead and apply through your school, complete the selection process with your home institution, and next steps is the application process. And that's when you'll receive an exclusive application link by March 1st, and that will come from your coordinator at your school. So the way it works is I will send the link to the coordinator, and then the coordinator will send it to you. There is no application fee this year, which is really exciting. I think it's a great thing that we can offer our IHP students, as well as no program fee. So everyone else at summer session has to pay about $250, but you guys are in. So we just thought we'd throw those nice things in for you because we appreciate you that much. So after that, you will provide all the required information for your application. This includes biographical information. I know we call it an application, but really we're just trying to collect your information so that we can put you in the system, process you, get you a student ID number, and then also get ready for your I-20, which is used to get you your visa. The personal statement is optional. I recommend doing it if you are planning on applying for SVIA. And then finally, we need you to satisfy the English proficiency requirement, which we'll go over in the next slide. So all of this is due by March 23rd. So as you can see, it's not a huge window. So we need to make sure that once you start the application, you finish it as soon as possible. About the language proficiency requirement. So on the right-hand side, you'll see a list of all the tests that we accept and the minimum score that we accept. This is because we require that all students be fluent in spoken and written English at the academic level. Of course, if you are from a country where English is the native language, then you don't have to worry about this requirement. And also, if you've successfully completed a full year or more of coursework at a college or university where English is the primary language of instruction, you also do not have to fulfill this requirement. But focus, you need to complete a full year or more of coursework. If you haven't, this requirement still does apply to you. Now, the reason we enforce this rule is because these courses are very difficult and you need to be able to converse as well with your roommates and get around. We really put this English language proficiency requirement out there to protect our students.
Absolutely.
Okay, so now we've got the application checklist. So at this point, you will have already been admitted. So don't worry too much about this section. I'm just putting this out there so you guys can see in advance what we require after the application is processed. Most of these documents are required to fulfill your I-20, which is, like I said, used for your F1 student status visa. We will require a declaration of finance form, which you'll just complete online. It's a pretty simple form. The proof of funding can be a little complicated sometimes. So this is the form that, or the letter from your bank stating that you have enough funds to study here. You might also get this letter from your school, so just check in with them if they do offer that to you. And then finally, you will upload a copy of your passport. And some other forms that we require are the emergency contact list, the housing application plan. Even though you are guaranteed housing at Branner, we still require that you fill this form out. So don't forget, a lot of people forget that form. The Office of Education, or Office of Accessible Education form. And then finally, just to reinforce this, this is where you will sign up for your intensive certificate if applicable. Absolutely. And this whole process needs to be completed by April 12th. This is the last day to complete this process, but please do try to complete it the week prior to this so that you can sign up for classes when access opens.
Absolutely.
And now we're here to our website. So as we said before, the website launched, the new one, today. This link right here is special just for IHP. So this is not advertised to any other students, only to our IHP community. Also, we have my email address down there if you'd like to send me an email with any questions. And I think this is a really good point to start taking some questions from our folks who've written in.
Absolutely. So we'll join you back. Hello. So yeah, we have our first question here. Does IHP also occur during summer session? So I'll go ahead and address that. Absolutely, it does. So summer session is 8 weeks long, and that is the umbrella term for all of our visiting students that come to Stanford to take classes during the summer. And that, in fact, it also includes matriculated Stanford students. It's the name of the fourth quarter of Stanford that happens to take place during the summer. IHP is a specific population within that giant, large umbrella term of Stanford summer session. So it's the students who come through this particular program. They live together, but they take classes right alongside all of our other visiting students that are also coming to campus at the same time you are to live on campus and to take classes right alongside with you. I hope that addresses your question, but definitely follow up if it doesn't. Our next question, how much do we pay for accommodation?
Yes, all of our prices are listed on our website, so I encourage you to go straight there to get the most up-to-date information there.
Absolutely, and we also have a tuition calculator, so on the new website, which is very, very exciting. And essentially, on that website, you can put in how many credits you want to take, that you'll be residential, if you're going to do Silicon Valley Innovation Academy, and then it will give you an estimate of how much the cost will be to attend summer session. All right. Another question, how does the academic credit work? Does one unit equal one module course? So I'll go ahead and address this. Very, very good question. It can be very confusing, especially because different institutions call credits, units, all sorts of different things, different names for that. So one unit does not necessarily mean one course. So generally, students will take about 7 units, or that's the minimum, right, for international honors, 7 units. And 7 units usually equals about 2 to 3 classes. So then the unit really reflects how much time you're spending on that class, either in class or outside of class. So you might go to class for an hour, and then outside of class, you're expected to do 2 hours of work, something like that. And then they will give you a number of units. But that's different than a class that's going to require 10 hours of you. That will be worth more units. So 1 unit does not equal 1 course. The more units a course is worth, the more work it's going to be. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
Okay. Okay.
We do require that you take 8 units, and that is the minimum.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry.
8. But sometimes we see students that'll come in and try to take 19. And if you think that you can do that, more power to you. Of course, we encourage you to apply yourself. But just keep in mind especially if you're doing SBIA, or if you're interested in participating in social activities, to kind of find that balance with the amount of work versus the amount of time you want to spend working on other projects.
Yes. Good point. The next question, do we get to do our final year research project in IHP? Have you heard about that?
So at this moment, if you're working on a project with your home institution and you're coming here to work on that project, that's between you and your institution. You're more than welcome to, if you're assigned something by your institution and you're coming here to work on it, if you have the connections there to continue that research, I applaud you, and that sounds amazing. At this moment, we don't have that exact opportunity offered through summer session, but maybe in the future we can look into offering something like that.
Absolutely. All right. Next question. So we have a question about the criteria of applicants in order to successfully get into the program. Do you want to talk a little bit about kind of the vetting process that applicants go through?
Yes, absolutely. So this is all done through your school. So your school might have a process that involves an application, maybe a presentation, or a special project. It can also be a club that your school has for honors students. So it really starts back at your university. Part of the relationship that we have with your home institution is that we trust that that your institution will provide the best students for us. So we really leave the admissions process up to your school. Once your school selects you, they send you to us.
Absolutely. Great question. Another one, do we pay per module or for the entire course? So good question. So you pay tuition based off of how many units you take total. So if you decide to take 10 units, then you're paying your tuition based off of that 10 units. If you decide to take 12 units, your tuition is going to be more expensive because you're taking more units. So you're paying for the entire course at once. So you're paying for a 3-unit course and a 4-unit course and another 4-unit course, for example, to get to 11 units. And so then you pay 11 units for the entire summer course that lasts the full 8 weeks, generally. Great questions. Do we offer theology courses? So why don't I actually
let's launch the website.
Yeah.
Does that sound good?
Yeah, this is a good opportunity for me to show you the new website. So just bear with me really quickly while I bring this up. So this is what it looks like. And let me also, I'm just going to give you the full course page here. So this is what our brand new website looks like, and this is our courses page.
So why don't we try to type in theology, see what happens.
Great idea. So search by keyword here. So if you search theology, let's see what happens. So it doesn't look like we've offered anything in the past, or at least last year, that is along the same terms of theology. However, why don't we try something else?
Something related to theology.
Yeah, so I'll just try philosophy. There you go. You don't spell it right, it doesn't work, does it? Okay, got it. Thanks for bearing with me. So when you search philosophy then, so up pop several courses.
Right, and religious studies, let's click on that.
Sure, religious studies, absolutely.
Who am I? The question of self-help, literature, religion, and philosophy. I mean, it's not exactly theology, but there might be something in there.
Right, it still might be of interest to you.
Right.
And if we click on it, you can then read further about the course description. This one's pretty long. You can see how many units. So this is course is worth 3 units. So then you'd pay 3 units worth of tuition. And then it also lists the instructor here for you. So this is a really great use. And then here, if there were a syllabus for this course, it would be listed down here. So you can use this to search.
Can we search by a department?
Absolutely.
If we know our department?
Yeah, so if you know you want to take a psychology class, you can also scroll down here and look, we have psychology, so you can click that. And then, let's see, philosophy there, search courses. All right, so then the psychology department comes up, and you can see we've offered a lot of psychology classes last summer, so you can then click through those to read more about what those courses are like.
Nice. I think while we're at the website, we've got another question here about the tuition calculator. Do you want to show them where that is?
Yes, great question. So up at the top, if we go to admissions, it talks about some of our different application procedures. And one of them here, calculate your estimated tuition and fees. So if we go to estimated costs, then it gives you a little bit of an introduction. And so let's see, we'll scroll down. So they have like a range here, but we want to get started. We want to know a little bit more about our particular situation.
Mm-hmm.
So if we click get started, I am and then we would pick, why don't we say undergraduate? And then let's see, yes, I'm an international student requiring a Stanford I-20, and you're living on campus. So here's where you select your units. It's okay, you can always go back and change this. So why don't we just do 10 units? So, and then let's say, yes, you want to do Silicon Valley Innovation Academy. So then it calculates it for you. So at the top, it will be your estimated total fees. So that's something to remember. This is estimated, it might not be exact, but here it has more information about your student type and some of our processing fees, how much it costs to live on campus. And then here's where you have your tuition for units. So 10 units is this price right here. But if you want to change your tuition units to something else, Patricia, do you have a number in mind?
Let's just do 8 units.
All right, 8 units, which is pretty typical. A lot of students do take 8 units. Then you can see the cost went down a little bit. Here you see the cost of Silicon Valley Innovation Academy, but say you decide, nah, I don't want to do that. So you can go here, select no, I will not be applying. And then that cost also goes away. These additional expenses down here at the bottom, the books and supplies, obviously we've made an estimate here, parking also an estimate, and things like that. So, but then you can scroll up and you can see that the cost has gone down because we changed the units and we changed Silicon Valley Innovation Academy. So this is really nice because you can just come on here and play around a little bit. So again, I got there by going to admissions first and looked for tuition and fees calculator. And this is just a really, really helpful tool for us and for our students.
Thanks, Susie.
Yes, absolutely. We have another question. Do you have final exams, or all the assessments are continual assessments and projects, etc.?
That is an amazing question. Yes, we do have final exams. Some classes might have the actual exam where you sit in the classroom and take a test. Others might do a project, like you said, or maybe a group presentation, something like that. And the final exams for the summer quarter coming up are Friday through Saturday, the 17th to 18th.
Yes. So could just be a whole variety of things that you will have to do, especially at the end of the term to wrap up your courses. Do we have any other questions right now?
We have a couple more minutes if anyone wants to propose a different question. I think we just got one. Susie, what are the options for intensive studies programs? Do you want to show them on the website?
Yeah, I'll show you the website again.
The reason we didn't put it in the slideshow is because there are so many intensives that you can choose from.
Yes. So let me skip over there really quickly. So let's see. We go to programs and we scroll down to enrichment programs. So down here, intensive studies. So at this time, we have 8 different intensive studies. So the first one here is computer science. And so you can read a little bit about the requirements there on the left. And then on the right, you'll see the courses that were offered as a part of that intensive. And so again, these will be updated in the springtime once we have all of our courses all set and ready to go for 2018. But like Patricia said, this is a really great reference for you to use to get an idea of the types of courses that we're offering.
And yeah, as Susie scrolls down a little bit, you can see the variety that we have, and each one of these intensives comes with its own requirements. So once you choose your intensive, be sure to read all the details because one intensive might not be the same as the other.
Yeah, absolutely. The requirements definitely vary, and we don't want any students to not earn the certificate because they weren't sure of exactly what was
Susie,
required.
I know it's a B or higher in the courses. Can I get a B- in my course?
No,
Sorry.
no, I know that does catch some students sometimes. The grades do need to be a B or higher. And Stanford does have pluses and minuses, so you do have to be careful with that. But like we said, all the intensive studies are a little bit different, and the environmental and water studies intensive is a good example of that, because you can see down here in the last paragraph, it says C- or above. This one's special because it's part of our SUES program, the Environmental and Water Studies summer program, and Stanford has a really, really awesome environmental and water studies program because we help a lot with the local water sources, and it also goes global as well. So this is an exciting intensive study that we are able to partner with SUES to host. So, and you can see they have a lot of courses that are also popular during the summer there on the right. So these intensive studies are really exciting, and a lot of students do these, especially if they want to kind of group their courses together and they're interested in this particular topic, and they get to take a course they wouldn't otherwise get to take. So this is a really fun opportunity. A lot of them come with extra things. So let me give you an example. Service learning. For this intensive, one of the requirements is that you have to participate in a day of service, which is where you get to go volunteer in the Bay Area and give back. And those days of service have been noted to be some of our students' most favorite activity they did all summer. So there's something about going out and with your peers and enjoying your time outside and giving back to the local community. So if you're interested in doing any of that type of work, the service learning intensive could be a really good one to engage with. Yep.
Thanks, Susie.
Yes.
I'm seeing another question. It says, is Stanford a stressful place to study? Yeah, that is a good question. You know, I know that I already said that the courses are difficult, and no matter where you go, if you're in higher learning, there is kind of a stress factor that might come into your courses. Some courses might be more difficult than others. I do want to emphasize that we have a lot of resources for our students, one of them being SARC, the Summer Academic Resource Center, and that's on our website as well.
Yes.
So we can pull that up and show you how to get there. I'll give Susie a little time to find it. But I think having good friends and reaching out to your teachers, finding those resources, allowing yourself some time to study, allowing yourself some time for self-care as well. You know, it can be all study sometimes, but we also encourage you to get out and make some friends and participate in cultural activities. Have some ice cream, you know, take a nice long shower or bath, and just find ways to relax, because like I said, it's stressful at times, but there's also ways to cope with that stress.
Yeah, absolutely. And there are other resources that are available to you. There's like, I'm actually blanking on the name of this building, but there's a building where students go just to be quiet and de-stress. And it's just known that when you go into this building, you put your cell phone away and you just are quiet for a while, and that's part of your self-care and awareness. And you also are able to use the gyms on campus. If working out really helps you de-stress, then you will have access to those. But I would say that probably the most successful students on campus try to find the best balance for them. So if they want to be able to also enjoy their time while they're here, then they're not going to take 14 units. They might take 10 units so that they still have time for themselves, but everybody has to gauge that for themselves and what they think that they can do. If you are a student who likes to really be busy, then maybe being busy during the summer is what's best for you. You just have to gauge that. And if you also do one of our enrichment programs like Silicon Valley Innovation Academy, then you might consider taking less units because you also know you have that commitment on top of that.
And to kind of sum it up and bring it together here, Stanford is a really relaxing place when you go outside and enjoy the campus. It's beautiful, it's sunny. you'll make a lot of friends. You'll make a lot of great memories. So don't worry about the stress of the classes. Please do enjoy your time here.
Absolutely. And we have, so like Patricia said, we have the Summer Academic Resource Center that offers tutoring. So here's some subject area tutoring: biology, political science, writing. Those are all really great tools that are available to all of our students when they come during the summer.
And I recommend dropping in when you first get here.
Yes.
Because the sooner you get in and kind of maybe get with a tutor if you know you need a little bit of extra help, the better. Sometimes I know in a lot of the assessments we've gotten back, the students have said they wish they had gone to SARC earlier and they wish they'd reached out to help earlier. So.
Yes. Yeah. So going at the beginning of the summer is a great idea.
Yeah, because then you set yourself up for success.
Exactly. SARC also offers a lot of workshops throughout the summer on a variety of topics that cover a lot of what our students are doing on campus in their classes. So make sure that you're looking at the different types of workshops that we have. If you really want to talk to an academic advisor, those are available to you as well. So these are some really great resources that help our students who just have a lot of workload and they just want a little bit of extra help. We have a lot of support for that, and we fully encourage students long before they get into any trouble in classes to come visit SARC, for sure.
Looks like we have another question, Susie.
Yeah. So we have a question that asks, can we stay off campus?
The answer, you need to stay in Branner, and it's so much fun. So, of course, we want you to stay in Branner Hall. It's a requirement of IHP that all the students live together.
Yep. But it's fun.
It's fun, yeah, of course. I think that sometimes the students who don't stay on campus, they don't feel like they're a part of the community. Some do, some don't, but I think the value of living in the same dorm environment is incredible.
Absolutely. We still have time for more questions, so keep them coming if you want. In the meantime, I'm just going to kind of take you through, is there another page on this website that you can think of? Here's more of student life. So if you're interested in hearing from stories, then definitely check it out here. So here's a message about Day of Service, which is what I mentioned earlier.
Sorry, now I'm getting excited.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay.
Yeah, it's fun. It's fun. So hearing straight from the student voices might also help you make your decision to decide if Stanford Summer Session is the place for you to be or not. But this, so what's it like to study as a student here? More information about SBIA. Here's that Day of Service that I was talking about giving back. We also have this really cool particle accelerator near campus, and so this was the Slack tour. So definitely browse through this this page also.
I think that covers it. I want to thank everyone for coming out today, and I know it's not, it's not easy to come up and put yourself out there and apply for a program. Traveling to another part of the world. Maybe some of you are seasoned travelers, but maybe this might be your first time ever coming to California. So I just want to say that we welcome you. We really hope that you do come and join us for the summer. It's an incredible experience. It will be life-changing. We always say it's a transformative experience because students do not come out the same. They always leave Stanford with incredible value and new eyes, I'd say.
Yeah, and wonderful memories. People leave campus, and they stay in touch with people that they met at Stanford. So it's really, really memorable experience.
Absolutely. Well, thank you all for coming with us or being with us today. And if you didn't have a chance to ask your question, please do send me an email. I'm always here for you guys. And be sure to check out our website. But until then,
all right.
See you next time.
Bye.
Bye.